Dead center in the backwaters of the galaxy, in the neutral zone between three empires and an uneasy ceasefire from war, is an immense space station called Midspace. It is a lawless metropolis, run by a crime syndicate and visited by all manner of disreputable travelers from diverse planetary systems far and wide. This is the story of some of those travelers. Dr. Z, a psychic jellyfish-like alien, versed in the arts of hacking and medicine, who pilots a robotic suit of armor. Cleo, the Ursine explosives expert, an immense bipedal bear creature armed to the teeth and not adverse to risk-taking. And Herodotus, a decorated military officer, dedicated to the imperial conquest of human civilization. Drinking in a shadowy saloon full of outlaws and looking for quick credits, they are the Backwater Bastards. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the first episode of Backwater Bastards Orbital Refuse.
Yay!
About bloody time, I say.
Oh yes, I agree.
We're a team of players, a group of artists who play tabletop games in our spare time.
Team of players.
You can check out some of our older games on the website, but yeah, here's episode 1 of Orbital Refuse.
It's all there, archive.
I think what you're trying to say is that we are a troupe of actors.
Yes, very dramatic.
And we're in space, the final frontier, y'all.
Brilliant. With me today, I've got the Dr. Zafrey. He's a jellyfish-like alien living inside a glass bowl with robot limbs. He's played by one and only Daniel Matthews. How are you doing, Dan?
This cold body, I can't feel anything.
Oh, it's grim.
But yeah, I'm good.
taking the form of an immense bipedal bear carrying a huge rifle and a lot of explosives. We've got Cleo deCap, as played by
Well, butter my butt and call me a biscuit.
by Taylor.
Yep.
That was amazing.
And we have Herodotus Arthurion Mendleroth III.
There. By the sainted circlets of Saturn, what am I doing here?
A high-ranking officer in an orbital army who's after an honorable discharge, and he has seen his share of combat, but obviously being in the upper management sort of role, his share was quite a very low proportion, very low ratio. This is played by Evan.
By guile or by gun, I will have my pension in this life or the next.
You were just after a pension?
Yeah,
Ain't we all?
that's why I'm out here to essentially I got kicked out of the army, but they couldn't. They couldn't discharge
Ain't
me.
one of us gonna get it.
Yeah, like the oligarchy is just too strong, so they can't kick out a noble, so they sent me on a reconnaissance mission. But essentially, it's an exile.
Oh
in
my
space.
God.
A vacation.
The ultimate bureaucracy.
A vacation, indeed. I have a 2 cents a day eating budget. You know,
Rich
that adds up over time. Yeah, they're not necessarily supplying the best of caviar, but one makes do. As we say in the armed forces, we make do. Yeah.
I'm just glad that you added that because I started to feel really sad and worried.
What about my character?
I was like, oh my God, he's hungry.
Well, so he is independently wealthy, so he's still got some of his old family money.
He's not starving at all.
Okay, I was like, oh my God, we're finally doing that emotional episode.
Funny feeling, you guys. You're doing it, Peter. You're playing
It's a
with us.
starving aristocrat.
He's starting to believe he is the one.
And leading everyone through this ragtag adventure through space is your very own DM, Dick, the Dungeon Master Dynamite.
Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, Dragon Daddy Gator Father, known by many names throughout the land, depending on
We're gonna
which
have to
land
come
you're
up with
in.
a space version of that
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you'll come up with something as we go.
synthetic.
So we're playing
guardian.
a total homebrew tabletop game called Orbital Refuse. It's
All straight out of your brain, Dick Dynamite, isn't it?
straight out of my own noggin. This is it's a space opera game. So characters can be a multitude of species. It can have a multitude of advantages and disadvantages that make them unique. It's a classless system. It's more based around creating the character from a concept first and then building it out of some really simple building blocks. So I don't think I'll go too much into the mechanics of how we've built Zafrey, Cleo, and Herodotus. Simply to say that there's a fair amount of good and bad in each character that allows them to pitch in as they choose.
That's mighty nice of you to say.
Yeah.
And it ain't over until, because it's a space opera, it ain't over until the fat alien sings.
Oh, which we need to find our own
yes.
Griselda,
You need
don't
to
we?
find a fat alien
And make
him
her
sing.
sing.
Yeah, jolly good.
The galaxy is in a cold war. The three worlds of the humans, the wraith, and the synthetics are at a standstill. There is an uneasy truce. No shots have been fired officially for a long time, but there's very little travel between the different systems. But in a neutral zone in between all three great empires, there's just an area of backwater space. And somewhere, dead in the center, a long-abandoned diplomatic space station, known only as Midspace, has become a hive of criminal activity, trading, smuggling, and just general piracy. And it's on this small backwater space. Well, that's a big station. It's the size of a small moon. This space station,
No moon.
which is a sprawling but often ghost town-like metropolis of steel buildings painted a variety of colors. It has multiple cities inside huge biodomes that create artificial day-night cycles because there is no sun, there's no star. And on the space station, we're going to meet our bastards. Dr. Zafrey and Cleo deCap wandering into a bar. They've been out, doing what they do and whatever a jellyfish and a bear get up to. And they spot across the room an old acquaintance of theirs, a army general of some description, as far as I can remember, called Herodotus. And Herodotus appears to be speaking animatedly to a droid, to a synthetic, who's sort of a tall, lanky thing, very, bipedal, a dirty bronze color, and wearing a hat. It's just sort of a jaunty rimmed hat.
Oh, Cleo, look who's here. The old general himself.
Listen here, you brazen buffoon.
Oh, is that our old friend? Is that you, Harry?
Should we have a little bit of fun with him before we go over and introduce ourselves?
Are you saying we should terrorize him?
Let's terrorize the old fool for a little bit, yes?
Doctors say that just ain't like you.
One moment.
But let's go on and do it.
And I want to try and hack into the robot he's talking to and try and give him a little spook.
All right, give me a hacking roll. We're getting straight into this.
I rolled a 15, so plus 5, that's a altered 20. Oh, Cleo, we're about to see the old general in his best of times.
Busier than one-legged cat in a sandbox.
Listen here, you brazen buffoon. Fetch me too sweet a glass of port. All right, I'll see to it that your decommission happens more swiftly than our advance across the desert fields of Harmonio 3. Yeah.
Ooh, Lord.
Okay, so Dr. Z, using a clever combination of his extremely efficient hacking skills and his race's innate telepathy, is able to interface with the synthetic brain of the droid. I've got to stop calling them droids. It's not Star Wars. the synthetic brain of the synthetic life form.
Oh, there. I thought this was a robot. I am embarrassed.
Well, the difference between a robot and a synthetic is arguably just semantics. Like that's a big part of why they're at war with the humans, of course.
To Herodotus, there really is no difference. He considers them little more than an elaborate tool belt.
There you go. You're on brand. On brand. You were doing it. You're all right, baby.
All right, so what happens?
What is Dr. Z having now hacked the brain of this synth?
Ooh, Dr. Z, you're a bad little boy. Look at you go.
Oh, wait, here we go now, Cleo. I do say to you, Herodotus, general of the toilet, that you are nothing more than some C-class general rate
garbage baby.
What?
Garbage baby. Call him a garbage baby.
Now listen here, you.
Yeah.
Now listen here, you
Tell him,
beggar
Dr.
balls.
Z, tell him.
I take no shame in
you're
my
so
part
bad.
of the logistics train, but I tell you this right now, you address me as Sir Herodotus, and you include the titles and names that are my right to bear as part of the most elevated bloodlines upon the Empire.
Ooh.
And I think at this moment we can, Cleo and I can walk in laughing at Herodotus. Oh, good day, old chum.
Oh, good lord.
Oh,
More of this.
Harry.
Oh, God, what are you doing here?
We could ask you the same here in Midspace.
Ooh, he squeezed a quarter so tight an eagle screams.
Making my absolute best attempt at getting a drink out of this discard pile, I say, and sort of nod towards the synthetic life form.
The synth is sort of juddering and sort of jittering and like looking about, his car headlight lamp-esque eyes flashing and dimming and flashing back up. And he goes, I seem to have misplaced some time.
Well, you also seem to have misplaced my drink. Now go fetch it. Fetch. Come on. Good boy. Fetch.
Very good. The synth rotates around it.
Wow, that's some strange behavior in this station from these synthetics.
All bloody useless if you tell
I ain't
me.
never seen anything like that before.
Yes, it appears our friend's love for the robotical synthoid is not faded at all.
I harken back to the day of the servitor. Ah, you know, they were prone to uprisings, but at least they did the job right. Ah, sweet, sweet days of control.
Cleo, he hasn't changed a
Oh,
bit.
well, Harry, it looks like you haven't changed.
Why
You're
would
just
I?
the same old sweetheart. Now tell me, what are you doing here? You getting into some money?
Harsh to say, Cleo, dear, I have once again crossed the mighty stream that is hierarchy and been flung out into these cold outer reaches of the spiral beauty
I
that is our
see.
galaxy.
Lord, have mercy on him.
I have missed his way with words, Cleo.
Yes, Dr. Z.
I want to fire off an order. 10! 3 of the house!
And the synth, who's already seems to have filled 2 small glasses with port, is now also fills 2 tall, narrow glasses with a frothy red substance, projecting an additional 2 arms as required for his rickety body. Catch the glasses, and he comes around, not spilling a drop, but looking very haphazardous as he spins very quickly,
Oh, disgusting.
totters over and deposits them all on the bar.
Yes, thank you. Yes, well, I do agree with you, Herodotus. The robotic form is very cold, but nothing quite like house moves. Cheers.
What in the blazes are you talking about?
Now, I'm going to have to check out here. I mean, how is Dr. Z, being a jellyfish in a jar, how is he drinking his drink?
I think we.
Please let there be some kind of straw attachment.
No, I
please.
think there is going to be some type of thing where I suck it into the fishbowl,
You just dump it,
filling up the fishbowl with this other liquid.
marinate yourself.
Tipping it into a little
Yeah.
hole that opens up, or sort of sucking it through a straw. I mean,
I think there'll be a succular thing or a tipping. I don't mind. Whatever people feel like.
But-
I have
What if it just gets tipped into your tank and then you just get it out of the water somehow?
There is no way that the tank can be opened from the outside, because after traveling with Cleo, and we can address this in an origin story, but after traveling with Cleo for so long, the amount of times that she has tried to put things into the fishbowl, I have now made it impossible for anyone to get into it without me going out of it.
We didn't even get to play that many times, and now one of my primary sources of entertainment is now destroyed.
So no, my fishbowl is sealed from the outside.
I'll find a way in, boy. We'll see about that.
Herodotus out here in Midspace, loving it with the rest of us, huh?
What an adventurer he is.
These are dark times, friends. Dark times indeed, when sons and scions of noble houses must schlep it with the likes of you.
Cheers to you as well, Herodotus.
Tell it like it is. Tell it like it is.
Speaking of, what are you two miscreants doing out here?
Oh, we ain't doing that much. We ain't doing that much. Tell him, Dr. Z, we ain't doing nothing but minding our own.
Minding our
Tell
own,
him.
hustling a few credits out of the lowly cretins around this place. This is a pure...
Making an honest living. Just trying to stay alive.
Interesting choice of words. Last time I saw you, you seemed to be so little in reverence of other people's ownership of things and such. You seem to have no problem stealing it straight out of their hand.
Oh, we would be lying if there wasn't a bit of that.
We're forward-thinking people now, Harry. You know that.
As the three are reconnecting over some strange-looking drinks, Herodotus having two, because I guess he's raised with two silver spoons in his mouth. The back door of the bar is open. Another synthetic. This one a bit shorter, a bit more stout. Of a similar sort of craftsmanship, of segmented pieces of a dirty bronze color, but you can see like he's been kitted out a bit more. He's got a lot of mishmash pieces. So like one of his arms has clearly been taken from some sort of top of the line battle droid. So one arm is sleek and very shiny, has a big blaster and what looks like an energy blade projector, both sort of fitted into it. Perfectly articulated.
The surgeries I could complete with that type of tech.
My.
Articulated, four-fingered humanoid hand and so on. But then his other arm is this, the same crappy sort of segmented, dirty bronze as the rest of them, with like kind of just a useless claw at one end. But then he has, shield projectors and various other sort of devices just affixed firmly and soldered and welded to various parts of his body. And most notably, one of his eyes has been replaced with one very unusual to look at. It's like a glassy orb that seems to be looking in all directions at once quite easily. And he saunters.
Cleo, Herodotus?
I like
We've
it.
got some company.
Saunters into the bar from the back room, straight past the serving synth. The three of you do in fact recognize him as Dietz, who is a synth of not low power. He's a influential gent on this space station, and he's the owner of this establishment as well.
This is Dietz.
God, machines owning things. What fresh hell is this?
Well, I imagine the same fresh hell that you deliver to daily.
Indeed. Life. What an absolute fuck.
So Dietz saunters over and leans casually on the bar. His one particularly high-tech arm flexing there as like various attachments seem to be sort of cleaning themselves and so on. It seems to be highly automated and very top of the line. Maybe he's sort of going through a process of upgrading, but he's probably spent a small fortune on just this one arm.
Ah, Dietz, so good to see you. Replacing the old skin, are you?
Yes. I see you bastards already are acquainted with one another.
Oh yes, we go far back.
You could say.
One can only say so much about the ill luck in life.
Yes, Herodotus here. Bit of the old silver spoon shoved so far up I've been unable to surgically remove it.
Surgery wasted, I say. Some people are born to greatness, my dear doctor, and some people are born to live in a glass bowl. However, scrap heap, what can we do for you? He,
Like his one normal synthetic eye sort of glaring a little bit at Herodotus, but not showing any other outward sign of annoyance. The three of you still do a little work on the side from time to time for credits?
Yes, sir.
I toil only for the greatness of the empire, for queen, for country. But if you should feel it appropriate to hand over a set of standardized credits, then I would not deny you that privilege.
Who's asking?
I've got a spot of work that might be right up your alley. Requires a certain, how should I say it, lack of fear.
A lack of fear, a delicate touch, an explosive hand, and a charismatic tongue. Well, then you've come to the right place.
Very good, very good.
Yes, but what do I need these two losers for?
Herodotus, never lacking charm.
I think most importantly, it would do well for business to get the three of you out of here for a little while. I don't need anybody.
Oh, you ain't wrong about that.
I don't need anybody.
Tim, bring us more house.
Cleo is like breaking chairs left and right. Too much butt for this place and its furniture. Slamming the table. And if you ain't ever smelled a space bear before, well, this is something new for all of yous.
Yes, you, Cleo. You've destroyed, was it 10 chairs this week? And the doctor. If I needed someone interfacing with my staff, I would do it myself. And as for you...
Well, they're a very rowdy bunch.
As for you, General, do you know custom has gone down 60% since you took up residence at this seat?
Who is he talking to? He couldn't
He's
possibly be
talking
talking
to
to me.
you, Herodotus.
I would never. I have never risen to the rank of general. Good Lord, man. I am not even of that sort of social class. No, Commodore. But what was this about percentages?
Don't pay you no mind to him, baby.
Let me just give you the details.
Oh, yes, deets. Finally getting to it.
As you know, or as you may or may not know, Midspace was crafted on a giant asteroid that already existed somewhere in this area. What most people don't know, that asteroid was crafted out of a huge cache of space debris. That's what the smell that comes out of the grates is sometimes.
A huge cake?
I just thought it was Cleo.
Oh, that's an easy mistake, baby. That's all right.
Now it
Sometimes
has come to my employer's attention that something of great value may very well have found its way somewhere in that debris below where we are at this very moment. I need a team with little regard for personal safety and personal hygiene to get down there and find it for me. Are you all in?
Well, we haven't started talking credits.
Indeed. First sensible thing you've said all day, old boy.
You know we're gonna have to have a little chat about that.
My employer has...
Also, bar privileges.
My employer has set aside a considerable amount of resources to get this task done. Name your price.
What?
100
Whoa.
million
Team.
imperial credits.
Can I quickly take an aside?
And Dietz sort of nods and sort of pretends to lean back, although his all-seeing orb and his left eye is clearly able to see you whatever way he turns his head.
I'm going to cast a little
I guess-
telepathy block or hacking block
Yeah.
to try and keep ourselves a little bit secret. I've rolled a 17 for that. That's a modified
Also
17.
quite reasonable.
So I want to try and block us a little bit as I lean into Harry and Cleo.
Now, I don't know about you, Harry, but we've been here for far too long. The station, it's immense, but we would like to, get off it every once in a while.
Right. So, why don't you just leave?
Well, we have no ship, you see, but this sounds like we could get enough... Oh, there we go, the
You
old...
came to a space station lacking personal transport.
Yes, well, not all of
Well,
us
we
have been-
got here. We just
Got there on
can't
public
leave.
We
transport.
can't leave, yes.
This
Yes, we took
This
the bus.
indeed, my Ursine friend, seems
we
to
took
be
the bus.
the issue at hand. Now,
Well, last I checked, your ship can't leave into deep space either, being that it's just a small local frigate or freighter, whatever you're calling it.
right, well,
That's shameful.
what, this is true.
Harry.
This could be a chance for us to get our hands on our very own ship. Now, the money we could make from there. Think on it. Would you be
Well,
willing to get your boots dirtied, Harry?
You know that's not what I'm about.
Boots you can always replace. That, my friend, is the magic of logistics.
Right then. Ursine, you ready to make a deal?
I ain't never said no to a little scuffle.
Alright, well, I guess we'll all lean back out of the aside. I'll lower the shield. And,
Cleo breaks another chair.
fuck.
Chair breaking.
Dietz, well aware of the psychic shield being lifted, looks politely leaning back forward across the bar towards the three of you. Well then,
Very well, you scoundrel. We'll take you up on your offer. Name your terms, man.
the price, Herodotus.
Price? Are we going after privateers now? Name it. Give me numbers, man. Stop with the tomfoolery and the daggers behind the cloaks.
I think what he means to say is that we're interested, but we're gonna need a real nice set of turbines, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yes,
Outfitted,
Cleo.
preferably.
I think everyone understands.
What say you to
Now
that?
listen, Ursine. The deal is for credits. You can buy whatever you like with them.
How much are we talking?
I think a cool 2,500 should about do it. What do you say?
Very well, as long as it's per person.
He shoots a look at Herodotus. I certainly meant for the three of you.
Well, I believe you can walk.
One of us is real big.
You can walk deeper into the proverbial forest searching for such a savage deal.
Oh my god.
It's 2,500 for each. Or we walk, or stay, more like, and create further unpleasantries in this establishment of yours.
Deets.
Yes, 10. Another round of the house.
And I'll quickly kind of
Right.
throw the glass towards the bar.
The bartender.
And you, Tin Can, get you out of here. We don't serve your kind. I say, pointing my shock stick at some sort of local, or at another life form sitting at one of the bar stools.
Cleo starts looking around for another chair, but there's no empty ones, just ones with people in them. So she goes to the closest chair and rips a guy out of it by the back of his neck. Insert horrible bear roar, and then just drags it over.
There's a small, squishy pink life form, you know, quite rotund, only about 4 foot tall, minding its own business, sitting as far away from the three bastards as possible on a stool. And after being yelled at by Herodotus, then has his stool yanked out from underneath him, where he lands on the ground, making almost like a squeaky toy noise as he hits the air, being expelled from multiple orifices on his body.
Oh no.
Wait, did we just fuck up Baby Yoda or something?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. This was a harsher debating strategy than I had previously thought. However, I do believe our point is made, is it not, Mr. Deets? If you want to get into the details, we can do that too.
During this time, the bartender droid has been doing some more house drinks, coming around with his spider-like arms, holding them aloft, and Deets putting one hand firmly on the chest of the robot, holding it back from serving the bastards. Glares down and says, 2,500 each, and you find a new place to drink.
Oh my god.
2,500 each, and we drink whatever we want, good sir.
Unless you think you can
But mind
move
ye
me.
not, it won't be here any longer. Unless we feel like it, in which case we'll move back.
Well, Harry, if we 2,500, we can buy ourselves a ship and drink aboard it whenever we like.
Yes, it's more about the point of
He
honor.
does have a point.
There's no honor in wanting to drink alone. I think that's a glorious thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, well, okay then.
Well,
Well, sounds like we
very
have
well,
ourselves
Doctor.
a little deal.
I do believe we're of an accord. Mr. Deets, hand over your crusty claw. I wish to shake you by the mid.
Deets holds out the one very sleek military arm to take Herodotus' hand.
Herodotus pokes at it with his shock stick. It's about close enough.
And Deets, in the way only a artificial face can, smirks and withdraws his hand. Then the deal is made. My employer will be most happy should you go back on it. So I suggest that you don't.
Very good, sir.
What are we doing again?
Let me show you where. Deets pulls out a small disc-like device and manipulating it with a slight twist, a hologram up out of it, showing the surrounding areas of Midspace, of the space station. And there's a point where a flashing X on the three-dimensional display shows.
Very intriguing.
Deets points to that point. You can take this with you. When you reach here, one of my associates will show you the way down.
Any code word needed?
I'll call ahead.
Yes, well, I've imagined an Ursine, a jellyfish in a bowl, and a pompous idiot won't be hard to miss.
Don't be good, doctor. Don't assume a doctorate on my behalf.
So Dr. Z admits that he looks like a jellyfish?
Yeah, I'm very proud of being a jellyfish. I'm not very proud of having to be stuck in a robotic form all the
But
time.
he's technically an Atolla
interact with
Medusa,
these-
isn't he?
He's an Atolla Medusa, is his species. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a hard life. It's a shame that this station's not underwater.
It's all
It
right.
is. It
It's
is.
all right.
Yeah.
It's only about what's on the inside, baby.
Oh yes, Cleo, thank you very much. I know we share
No.
similar prisons.
Yes, as the furry one says, it's all about what the inside of your fishbowl.
Deets.
It's kind of nice. Cleo is stuck in her bear form. I'm stuck in the robotic form, and Herodotus is stuck in his desire for money. I guess.
Just life.
In perfect form.
We haven't mentioned that Cleo might not be all that she seems, actually.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for raising a head there.
Oops. Well, that's cryptic, so maybe that's good. I don't know. I don't know what's a secret and what's not.
Well, I mean, this is the first episode, so literally anything we haven't said is a secret until we say it.
Yeah.
No, but I don't know what should be a secret, because at one point I was like, what, is it a secret that I am a female that sleeved into a male bear?
No, I don't think any of it's secret until you decide to say it, right? So it's...
I think people just assume that you're a female bear because you've got a whole lot of fur down there and like a rather feminine voice. But then, you know, if anyone were to look too closely, they might get a bit confused. Or maybe not. I mean, it's a cosmopolitan, rather sort of liberal space after all.
You know how it is.
You know, outside of Herodotus. So the three of you are going to leave immediately then, yes?
I'm for it.
Yeah, let's do... Well, wait. Do we need to go to the store?
I mean, you're all as equipped as you were at Character Generation.
Everybody's good?
And Cleo doesn't have a single credit to her name at the moment.
That don't mean I can't buy nothing, baby. I'm with two strapping young men here. There's different kinds of currency in this world, you hear?
There's promises and then
There's having and then there's having. Now let's get going.
So the unlikely trio, exiting out of the bar, much to the relief of Dietz, who vanishes back into his back room to do whatever the shady gangster bar owners do on the space station. There's almost an audible sigh of relief as the three of you leave, in fact, as people sort of close in back to the bar to order drinks that they've been putting off getting.
As that squishy pink thing gets up, rubbing its back. Crying. It's just been such a hard week. Oh shit. I really need a win, you know. Today ain't your day.
And out into what passes for streets on this station, and there are wide corridors where the domed roof above can be seen. And right now is actually projecting a simulated daytime sky. So you've actually got a blue sky with sort of clouds, a yellow sun-like light, although there is no approximation of a star actually in the sky. It's quite a simple animation. And if anyone were to watch it too quickly, they could even see the edges of the separate projection panels where the clouds suddenly disappear in quite abrupt square edges.
It's beautiful.
But it does give at least some feeling as though you're outdoors on a planet.
Oh, I love it.
Hey, it's a beauty.
Still kind of smells as though you're indoors, though.
Not so beautiful.
That's just me.
Cleo, we did talk about that bath, didn't we?
Ain't a whole lot I can be doing about that. That's my natural grease. You get used to it.
Bear mask.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Some people pay money to get that in a jar.
I bet they do.
And they're considered
So
sick.
Cleo,
Well,
on strong, powerful, but squat bare legs, trotting down the street. Herodotus, obviously, with a I imagine he was at least good at marching, so with a straight back, high posture, finding his way down.
A pretty goosey gait.
A very, very cold, automated walk. I imagine almost that he doesn't engage too much with his mechanical body and just simply tells it what to do, quite simply. Am I right in thinking that?
Oh, yes, I'm a jellyfish stuck inside the robot, not the other way around. So
he has the most uniform gait you could ever imagine. Like he walks like a video game character on a repeat animation.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
And it's a simple matter of walking down the corridors. The corridors, they eventually reach the edge of the dome and then begin to curve round in a nice, pleasant round curve. It gets a bit awkward because the curve of the city has drawn on an imaginary cityscape that continues on, but you can't really get to it, and then sort of curves up above you when you get too close to it. So the illusion of the sky is broken a little bit at this point, but it's still, it's bright and happy and cheerful. There's a lot of people going about. There's a lot of just small hover speedsters just sort of zapping down. You often have to sort of get out of the way, as they don't often slow down for pedestrians. There's no real road rules in place, so it's every man for himself going on here. But eventually...
Herodotus, have you ever ventured this far into the docks?
Me, I keep mostly to the finer parts of town myself.
Cleo and I have been no stranger to these parts.
And why am I not surprised, good doctor? Why am I not surprised?
So coming around onto, turning left, in fact, into a smaller street, there's great big tall buildings on either side, or the approximation of buildings, carved into the matte steel walls of space station. And there's a sort of a delineation between different houses because they've all been painted different colors. There's a lot of graffiti, but everything's rather sort of strange matte colors of painted metal. So it looks like quite a residential area and not a very clean one. There's a lot of people sort of loitering in doorways. Some of the doors close as you come by. A lot of people sort of watching with big dead eyes out of windows.
Nice.
It's like a slum. Eventually you get to the point marked on the map. Or rather, you get to a point where the point marked on the map seems to be inside one of the buildings off to the side.
Well, this seems a right jolly bunch.
Wait, what are we looking for again?
Good question.
Am I making this up, or are we going into the sewer?
You're going into, well, it's not really the sewer, it's the core, the trash core of the space station. The space station, like they've only built,
that's
because
right.
the whole thing is like moon-sized, but they've
Are you trying to say that people don't shit here?
I mean, there is a sewer as well, but like you're going deeper than that, because the entire thing is built on a platform of just space trash that they've compacted together into an asteroid, and then they've built space station around the exterior to like give it that mass. Because obviously, they didn't.
Oh, you silly bear.
They didn't need the entire space. They just wanted to build a shell around. 'Cause, I guess they had all the pieces for making things, terraforming planets. So why not just build it on a trash asteroid?
Okay, I rolled a perception, which was just an 8, trying to find out, where we got to go.
So you've been sent to retrieve something, and Dietz didn't divulge the details himself, but you're going to have to hope that his associate gives you more information, because all you really know is that you're traveling down to the depths of the station.
I turn my voice up very loud and I say,
We're here on behalf of Dietz, that greasy fool with the one good arm and the broken body.
At the bare mention of Dietz, several more windows and doors slam shut, but the one directly in front of you opens up. A rather tall-looking alien, which you do recognize as a member of the Dark species. They're tall blue humanoids with sort of tentacle-like hair, that often sort of slicked back, and quite a lot like humans. They're sort of clever little weak things that are good with technology. And he sort of strolls out and says, "I wouldn't go shouting about that name right here. Come on in then. You must be Dr. Zafrey, are you? He said you were the squishy one."
Oh, yes. Oh, I am Dr. Z. Yes. Let's walk past.
He sort of nods knowingly at Dr. Z. "Ah, and the Ursine. Mind the feet? Hey."
Cleo just grumbles. I seen ya. Hold your pants together.
And he looks with a testing look in his eyes at Herodotus. He says, and yourself, Commodore."
Ah, rank at last. Even if it does come from something, it looks like my cat. Commodore. Wait, give me a second. You can edit this. Commodore. Wait. Commodore Herodotus Arthurion Mendleroth III at your service.
There's just a pained look on his face. It's like, he's not sure whether to be happy about the elements of politeness or the elements of downright xenophobia. But he allows Herodotus in and then closes the door behind the three of you. And as soon as you enter the building, you can see that this building has been gutted. He quickly, with a twist, bolts, and you can see that from the outside the door looked rather weak, but from the inside it's like a vault door, and bolts all slide across, sealing this thing tight. And the building's been gutted, it's almost hollowed out, so the bottom 3 floors you can see all the way up, and walls and floors have all been ripped out. And in front of you there's just an immense hole leading down and there's a faint green light emanating out of that hole, and the hole seems to go down very far. You can't see the bottom from this angle.
Well, as the whale said to the potted plant, we all must go down.
Is that what it said?
I wouldn't expect you to have read such elderly tomes, my good doctor. Keep to your bowl and your fish food and leave the thinking to better men. And when I say men, I mean men both biologically and sexually.
Well, would the great Commodore then please lead the way and stop us from any dreadful traps that may befall us?
Well, I would not assume on the hospitality of our hosts. They for surely wish to lead the way, do they not?
Well, only one of us here is a hole expert.
Well, no, I won't be. I won't be accompanying you. I've been down there once, and that was plenty. I'm Rave. I work with, mind you, not for Dietz. Our employer, the princess, has been spending a lot of time and money on this venture. As you can see, we've managed to dig all the way down to the core of the station. We are sending you down there because, quite frankly, no one else on the team wanted to do this part of the job. It's been a year in the making,
Yes.
so...
Professional help needed, I see. Yes, well.
So the mindless labor is over, and now you call in, well, as the settlers would call it, the big guns, the major kahuna. Very well. We shall descend into glory.
You mean the hole expert?
Yes, well...
Watch out, everybody. The hole expert is coming through. Make way.
I don't know what Dietz has told you, but there was...
Oh, do not worry. Dietz has told us plenty. Herodotus, lead the way, you old fool. We'll find it. Don't worry. We'll be right back.
What, do you even know what you're looking for?
Yes. We know what we're looking for. Something big and upsetting down there. We've done this sort of thing before.
I'll lead the way right after the Ursine. Come now!
Don't you want to hear about all the things I've uncovered?
Look, do you think that Dietz would hire us if he really thought we weren't prepared for the job? Okay. No, we're three of the most professional beings on the station, and of course, you've all waited a year to find talent like us, and now we're here.
Okay, well, just take this. It could help. Sort of thrusting a data stick towards Dr. Zafrey.
Can I scan it and quickly upload it to my memory banks?
Absolutely. So,
Okay, I'll just do a hacking. I rolled a modified 20.
oh, I mean, easy peasy.
So I quickly scan it because I don't want to touch it, and I say,
You can keep your little trinkets. As I said, the best.
So it appears to be an ancient manifest from some sort of space vessel that,
File's too big. It's going to take you 300 years to load it.
it's a manifest from a vessel that's obviously been, was received and uncovered thousands of years ago, a very long time ago. But,
Fucking knew it.
yeah, from what you can gather at a brief glance, it looks as though in the general vicinity of where the station is was the last known point of transmission. So it seems altogether likely that perhaps it may have ended up here.
I'll look at the darks.
Ooh, very ominous. Now, step aside.
He sort of rolls his eyes and he points, and there's a little more than a sort of hovering platform, about 20 feet square. It's quite a large hovering platform that's just sort of sitting there between the roughly chopped out floor and the hole. He says, "It's programmed to get you down there, but you'll have to do the rest on your own."
We can program it ourselves to take us wherever we want.
Well, look,
Come on,
just
Cleo.
don't change too much. It's got to get you back up again as well.
Yes, again. Were you hired for the job or were we?
He's just sort of like shaking his head, and like on the verge of like just sort of, he's got his fingers over his eyes, really quite concerned, but washing his hands of the whole thing. He's already been paid after all. Good luck to you then.
Us men of true adventure, we make our own luck. Thank you very much. Better time.
Oh, yes. Whatever, dogs.
Woo, all right. Get on with your bad self. Get in that hole master. Or whatever you... hole expert. What's that, Harry? This look like a hole you seen before? You inspected many holes before in your
He's
your past
inspected
job?
many holes
Come
before.
on, you Ursine undulates, get in the hole already.
I don't want to get to taint it before you, man.
I'll high five Cleo as she steps into the hole.
Oh, I guess I get to explore this hole first. Don't miss out now, y'all. Let's go.
So she's completely missed the floating platform.
Oh. Possible.
Bloody amateur.
Okay, so Cleo
Very well. Come now, good doctor. Let's get down in the
vanishes into the hole.
Wait, is Cleo just fallen in?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, so much for our fucking professional allure.
All right, Cleo plummets down the hole. Let's follow Cleo first because she's moving the fastest. And she rather quickly realizes that this wasn't the smartest idea as she quickly reaches terminal velocity. The sewers the size of a base station are whizzing by. You can sort of see like dark metal, green glow still emanating from below, the dim light of the building from above. She's almost in darkness, but she can sort of see sawn off pipes, catches full in the face a spray of quite dirty water that clearly comes somewhere from the space station's sanitation system that's been severed in the digging of this hole. The layers that sort of she passes by become less and less controlled. You know, so there's sewers, there's service tunnels, there's pipes. What looks like for a briefest moment, like possibly a room where little grey men are doing some sort of work, but that goes by before she can even tell if that was real or not. And then suddenly it's just scrap, like, you know, it's great big sheets of metal. What looks like it's been like, you know, peeled off like destroyer starships and so on. And then suddenly, with a pop, she hits some sort of bubble, some sort of green bubble. And it slows her down for the briefest moment as her body slickly oozes through what seems to be some sort of outer slimy, greasy outer bubble. And then she bursts through it.
Okay.
And all of a sudden she sees that down below is what looks like some sort of like ground, like the asteroid that's creating the gravity of the space station. And it is just a giant trash yard. It smells bad. It's a lot of it is, you know, various stages of decomposition. And amongst it, there's a lot of debris of of just broken bits and pieces of who knows what. And as she takes all this in, she crashes onto the ground into a not particularly deep pool of dirty water, narrowly avoiding, though, a steel spike, not a meter or two away, pointing up at the sky, about 10 feet long. Narrowly avoiding that, but she does plummet and smash into the ground with terrible force, taking 3d6 points of damage.
Oh, damn it.
Cleo, you're gonna die first episode.
Oh, shit.
No, man. What? Wait, am I dead?
17 points of damage.
Oh my
Wait, I'm dead?
It's not.
How much do you have?
are not dead, but you are not conscious.
Oh, fuck.
So, Cleo,
That's a strong start.
Yep. Yep. This is
Alright.
why they hired the best.
Simply the best.
so Cleo hits the ground, and she's only got a moment to think of what a bad idea this was, as she feels several of her ribs cracking. Her face is just smashed into the ground. She's taken, you know, probably a fair bit of internal damage even, as she passes completely unconscious and is fading relatively quickly.
I don't like it.
She has 15 hit points, by the way, so she's now on -2. Should she reach -8, she will perish.
Can I reach out using my telepathy to try and reach to Cleo to see where she's gone as I see her plummet? I've rolled an 11.
So Dr. Z is rolled an 11. So
Yeah, can Dr. Z shield me?
not from this far away, no. You're down in the Earth's core.
Great.
It took you, you know, a full, like, I don't know, 40 seconds to fall that far.
Shit.
Dr. Z reaching out, and he's, I guess, shocked by the slightly foolhardy, adventurous attitude of Cleo. And he can sense that she's down there somewhere, and that there is very limited brain activity going on, and that there's a distinct possibility that she is, in fact, unconscious. But he can tell that she's alive.
Limited brain activity, business as usual.
Herodotus, why don't we take this lift to the bottom?
Let's lift ourselves downwards. Goodbye.
Yes, I agree. We'll find Cleo at the bottom. She's somewhere down there in a bit of distress, I do believe, but I think she'll be fine.
and we'll both calmly step onto the lift.
Indeed.
As you step onto the Darks, the blue guy, he's just standing there. His mouth is wide. His eyes are even wider. He's completely speechless and frozen. He's just staring at the spot where Cleo was half a minute ago.
I say, do you fancy joining her, or do you fancy running along and doing whatever you do? Leave this to the professionals.
He just sort of backs out the door.
All right.
The lift doesn't go quite as fast as Cleo's descent, but it's still relatively fast as it blasts down. The lift, in fact, as you push the button, it manifests a really shoddy looking, flickering, but a shield around you, around the lift. It looks as though it wouldn't really protect from any sort of actual gunfire or serious attack, but it should protect you from falling debris or being sprayed in the face with sewer water.
Yeah.
There's now Herodotus. Now Harry. This is one of the oldest parts of the station.
Will you please refer to me, sir, by my God-given name? I do not care for this heady business.
Well, Herodotus, Harry,
Do I
Dr.
look
Zafrey,
like some middle-aged
Dr. Z.
car salesman to you?
Let's not get into what you
No,
look
sir.
like.
You are a fish in a bowl within the carapace of steel, good sir. Let's not talk about looks. I, good sir, might not look what you find attractive, but this is the human body in peak condition. Understand it, sir.
A bit expired, I do believe, from my medical reports. Your body
Peak
is...
condition, good sir. Peak condition.
Maybe at some point, not anymore.
It's worth noting that Herodotus has a faulty prosthetic limb, walks with a distinct limp,
Yes, peak condition.
and is actually rather weak, slow, and has poor aim.
He was also raised by like the oldest oligarchical sort of nobility on Earth, so he has an implacable belief in his own specialty.
I mean, that is a
specialness.
superpower in of its own.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
If you, good sir, are referring to my leg, then I will have you know that it works better than any artificial leg ever devised before or since. Peak
Yes,
condition.
well, I sometimes say the same things about this poor robotic form I seem to be trapped in.
Yes, and do you blame the rest of the world for your lack of resources to upgrade your situation? I'm sure you do, you aquatic aquafina. Good Lord.
Anyway, during this descent, which does take a couple of minutes, unfortunately, Cleo's condition is deteriorating, and over the course of the travel down, her health has dropped another 2 points.
I look at my system overlay inside my fishbowl. I'm looking at kind of medical reports of Cleo and her health condition. And I'm also looking at the time it's taking us to take this lift down. And I'm just looking at Herodotus and saying,
No, Cleo's fine. Yes, no, she's just waiting for us comfortably at the bottom of the this lift. You know, the old express chute she took.
And a simple sort of projection of her apparent deterioration. Now that you are close enough to actually sort of get a bit of a reading, it looks as though you will arrive. I mean, it's quite tight, but probably in time before she will perish. And in fact, her health only deteriorates by another point in the rest of the descent as the platform lands softly in the trash land just next to Cleo's slightly twitching but otherwise limp form.
Now, Herodotus, I only say this because I know you to be a bit frail with the old eyesight, but you might want to look away.
and I'll walk over to Cleo.
Cleo, dear girl, what have you gotten yourself into this time? And
Punch a medical kit process on her.
Oh, good Lord, man. What happened to your pet?
Yeah, there we go.
It's a good roll with very poor healing.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Well,
All right.
maybe next time you don't want to go walking off into a fucking tunnel. Whole thing.
Dr. Zafrey,
Cleo.
Dr. Zafrey, applying his medical kit, he successfully understanding the workings of the Ursine form.
It's not the first time
It is
Well.
going good.
Ooh.
Oh my god, Cleo.
Am I
I
awake?
need to think about stuff.
Am I alive?
You so he heals 2 points, bringing you to a healthy, still unconscious -3. But Dr. Zafrey does have a few medical kits, so he could, if he was feeling generous, continue the process.
Herodotus, I'm going to need your help, sadly, here with the old Ursine.
Whatever happened to her emergency shoot that you were so braggadocious about?
Well, I imagine her bear-like appendages didn't manage to pull it in time.
Well, that's what happens when you trust human work to non-human agents. Yes, well, I say let her succumb.
Just pick her up for me while I do this.
Oh, very good. The peace sign leaves the heavy lifting for the humanoid. I see how it is. Yes,
I zap a little bit of electricity towards him. It's just shortly missing.
Hey, fuck you, I zap some back.
We have a little bit of a zap war.
Yeah, so Dr. Zafrey's one good robot arm can manifest an energy blade, but Herodotus is also equipped with an energy, what do we call it? An energy baton.
Yeah.
Yeah. So suddenly we're starting like classic fencing.
Yeah, we're just stabbing
like the duel in
stabbing at each other.
Like like the duel in Princess Bride.
Yeah.
How about you, you peace sign?
Oh, you pompous idiot.
Perturbing poltroon. Zap. Surrender.
So there we go. These are the kind of rolls you should be able to get.
Okay, so I rolled a oh no, you rolled an energy baton. I'll do my energy blade back at you then.
Okay, Jesus. The medical kit.
Oh, we both rolled a natural 20, so we both like negate. Oh no, we both rolled a 17 and a 15.
Suddenly,
Yeah, you've both got quite big advantages to your energy blade combat. You're both very skilled fencers, in fact.
I thought we maybe had like blocked our blades, like kind of like matched them in some way.
Well, yeah, I mean, more or less. Dr. Zafrey's energy blade manifests on his arm, attempting a parry. So we've got a 22 attack, and unfortunately a parry of only 20, which does catch the baton, but with Herodotus's, he's not a particularly strong man, but like with his additional sort of skill,
grace,
arrogance and grace, yeah, he gets in just over and still manages to get a good zap onto Dr. Zafrey's robotic form. Fortunately, Dr. Zafrey has equipped a personal shield, which rather quickly, bounces back the baton, but absorbing the 4 points of damage that the baton does.
Ha! Look at you with your artificial defenses. Had it not been for your little toy there, we'd have had a touche.
Just hold her up so that I can apply the necessary medical treatment. We're not going to make it very far if it's just you and I stuck down here, now are we?
Not with that attitude, we won't. Very well.
And finally, with some small amount of assistance from Herodotus, or at least a lack of being jabbed at with an energy baton, Dr. Zafrey once again.
Hey, he started it.
No, you started it. You rolled first.
No, you started it. I rolled first, but only after you described swinging at me.
Well, it's no action taken until it's rolled for, so, you rolled first.
That's never been agreed upon. Don't you fucking start with me. You said it.
More of maybe a threatening prod than attack. Regardless.
Very well. I responded disproportionately. That's how we built the empire, sir.
Yeah, exactly. Can we get Herodotus to roll medical as well? Just maybe it boosts my one at some bit just to try and help Cleo out.
What do I roll?
You are
medical
trained in medicine, whereas Herodotus is not, so it's altogether possible that the average of your two rolls
gonna hurt me.
Might end up being lower than your roll on its own. But if Herodotus is indeed helping, it'd be foolish not to roll it.
No, if he's helping, shouldn't it be advantage?
Shit. Okay, so you had a 23 with Dr. Zafrey's knowledgeable medical expertise, but
I imagine they would add on to each other, not just subtract, right?
Well, if he did well.
Whole new world.
Oh, God damn it, Cleo. Why did you jump in the
Herodotus has rolled a 12, which, what's that, Howard?
Heals for 4, isn't it?
12 plus 23 divided by 2.
Oh my God, division is happening, you guys.
Don't you dare close your eyes.
17.5 is your average roll, which is actually, that's fine. There's a successful medical application. And because of the additional help, yes, you've both applied 4 points of healing. So luckily,
Excellent.
Cleo deCap is healed for 8 points, and finally, with a coughing up a bit of blood, regains consciousness. The nanobots and drugs within the medical kits sort of doing work to stitch her body back together best it can. Her ribs still a little on the weak side, perhaps even with some hairline fractions in place. Her body sort of coming rather back together as she comes back to 5 points.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
There you are, you bumbling buffoon. What did you think you were doing? You have no wings. I know you're but an animal, but try to stay in your element, girl.
Gonna sit up a little bit.
I must agree with Herodotus on this one, Cleo. That was rather foolish.
I have a little bit of a
It's a safe
stretch.
bet.
I feel like I've been ate by a wolf and shit over a cliff.
Well, not far from the truth there, Cleo.
Except for the wolf and the part where you were shit over the cliff. You made a rather elegant pirouette and then went off into the great good night, as it were.
You know what, Herodotus, the poetry really does lose meaning when you explain it.
Cry havoc and let's slip the dogs of war.
Somebody's had a day.
So now that you're not worried about the mortality of your Ursine companion, you're all able to sort of get a bit of a glimpse of your surroundings, and you are actually at the top of a heap of space trash. It's a lot of it is just sort of decomposing waste of various kinds, organic waste, hopefully, less than gastronomical origin, but it's hard to tell. It all...
Okay, so you're saying that it's probably not all shit, but some is.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't
Great.
smell good.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, Doctor, we're in your bailiwick. Lead us the way.
Can I open up I'll do a hacking to look at the map that I was given, or look through the device I was given and try and figure out where we should be walking. I've rolled a 17.
The device, looking sort of deeper into it, you can see that there was some sort of craft, possibly from a system or a kingdom even of peoples that you haven't heard of before. They don't seem to exist anymore, and not much of it is in any sort of language that you can decipher. It's really just the statistics and locations that you can actually understand. But you get the impression that it's the manifest of this ship that went missing in this area, and that is the extent of the information. And that would have gone missing in this area before the creation of Midspace. So it's altogether possible that perhaps it was part of the space debris that was packed together.
Well, believe it or not, Trio, we are looking for an ancient ship crash-landed here before the inauguration of this here Midspace.
Out here in this trash heap?
Afraid so, Cleo.
Y'all better get to digging.
I was given to believe that this was one of your seasonal activities. Why don't you show us your expertise in that particular area? Why don't you? Well, I mix this a fine assortment of drink. I do believe that's a fair distribution of labor, you bloody socialist. But I tell you this, if you threaten to establish some sort of working Soviet, I will have no choice but to beat down upon your indiscretion with great fury and the might, anger, and boundless reciprocity of an imperial education.
How about you put that imperial education to work and try and find us a ship dating back to anything that we'd know or seen, flying our puny lifetimes, something that's crash-landed here.
Oh, very good.
Amen.
Well, we'll have to be looking back to before the great expansion.
Can I let Herodotus use me like a Google kind of interface or something?
Use me like a Google interface.
Oh my god, that sounds so gross.
I will use you like my own personal Yahoo.
Oh no, it's worse.
So we're using a combination, I guess, of
I'm going to ping you all over the place.
If it's allowed, you have to decide right now if you want to allow this or not, because this will define a lot of future roles.
Yeah,
I'm
this
sure.
is confusing. I mean, in any information that's existing in the database of your robotic suit, you have full access to already.
Oh, I don't know.
So Herodotus
Either way,
would not access anything additional.
I've got that chip downloaded into my body, though. Don't I?
See. So if you were to telepathically sort of give some of that information towards him, and then combined with his military knowledge,
I wasn't even thinking telepathically. I was just thinking kind of like straight hacking computer-wise. But we can do it telepathically.
So you open up a little hollow screen, and then he's like, "All right."
Yeah, exactly.
I got you.
That's what I was thinking. So I'll look to Herodotus and open up a little holoscreen and say,
give us some of that colonial logistics knowledge and find ourselves the ship we're looking for. Crash landed here before the inauguration of Midspace.
Alright, so what can I roll for to see if I can do
it's
this?
simply going to be a knowledge check, which for you is just a d20.
This is just a d20.
But I will...
Yeah, 'cause that's not something that you naturally have.
This is just like the day for great rolls.
Yeah, that did not go well.
Surprise!
Herodotus looking...
Do I get advantage because of my
for what?
colonial education?
what?
Because of white privilege?
I've got...
Because of
I think
my
that's what he's asking for,
imperial
yeah.
privilege.
I've got great
Imperial
news for
privilege.
everybody. This game does not feature advantage.
Oh my god, Dick, what the
You managed
fuck?
to save yourself from the advantage.
Dick, you did that on purpose. Girl.
Do you want us to
Amazing.
die?
He's only rolled a
He
2.
does, I think. Look at what just happened.
Ah, these newfangled gadgets of yours. I can't make heads or tails of them. Know that. If you had upon your disposal a hollow book or one of the Chthonian Bibles, I might be able to make some headway in the research upon mine shoulders that you have put there, but I cannot make heads or tails of this asinine script before me.
Even in space, some of us evolved a little slower than others.
And some bears could do with a little bit of buckshot behind the ear if they don't recognize them.
One small step, baby.
One small step for bear, one giant shot in the face.
Oh, Harry, you just know exactly what to say to turn my gills purple. Now listen.
I have been told as much on multiple occasions.
I love that, like, he's standing there arguing. Dr. Zafrey's shield worn down to almost nothing. Cleo at 1/3 of her health. Not quite knowing.
Just
Laying in the
not
trash.
quite knowing what the mission is.
Well, we would have known the
Yeah,
mission if
sounds
they'd
about
told
right.
us the mission, but no one would tell us any of the details. So we had to,
You
know.
told him not to.
No one would tell us the details. That's the thing. Okay? No one told us the details, so we don't know anything. It's their fault, not ours.
Now what?
Just one moment, good doctor. What are we doing here?
We're looking for an old ship before the inauguration of the Midspace. I've told you bloody 3 times.
Oh, very well. I'll roll 20 for perception.
All right.
God,
Oh my god,
damn it.
another
Herodotus
fucking fail.
looking around.
I can't see a bloody thing in this mist.
Go on, let's get a look from Cleo. I've got a good feeling about this.
Yeah, I was gonna do one, but I'm trying to find. Do I just do a D20?
Just do a d20 for the ones. I'll
Yep.
I'll add all the skills, every sort of skill in there, so you've got something to click. But at the minute, like none of you have advantages or bonuses. Oh my god!
Oh, okay. Well, I rolled a 4.
All 3 of you looking around aimlessly. But, well, I mean, Dr. Zafrey had not looked yet. Yes, there we go. A 17. So Cleo and Herodotus both looking around, not really seeing anything other than trash. But they're still coming to terms with the notion that what they're looking for is some sort of ship. Dr. Zafrey, who has sort of managed to piece together that much in the last minute or so, looks around with a bit more of a discerning eye, and he sees there's a great chasm of filth and rubbish. It looks like there's almost like a pond of a nasty liquid, which is possibly where the green light is emanating from. But across there is a great peak sticking out of the trash that could be, in fact, almost certainly is some kind of structure created by man or alien. It could be...
I say now Herodotus, have you got any type of scope on one of those blunderbusts on your back there?
Did you hear that, Ursine? He asks for a scope upon a blunderbuss. Ask me this, good doctor. What is the function of a blunderbuss? He says, sort of taking his blunderbuss out of its holster.
gently stroking it and pointing it in the doctor's direction.
I'm walking away. I'm walking towards the ship.
And you thought that one had an education, eh? Woo!
You can't never be sure. You can't never be sure. Especially not about something like that in a fishbowl. What kind of school they make for something like that?
Well, you do know what they say about fish in school. Bloody old lot of them.
But
I do my best.
Zafrey,
Peak performance.
descending down the great heap that you're on, and down towards the rather swampy-looking bottom. As he reaches in, he can sort of see that although the nasty liquid beneath is emanating some sort of green glow, it seems to be fungal in its origin. Probably not radioactive, at least.
probably not.
Are Cleo and Herodotus following, or they're standing back, making quips?
I
A
can,
little bit of both. We're sauntering after.
like, we sort of started to come, but we're not, like, hurrying at all. You know how it is.
No.
Wandering along.
The doctor's rotten mood smells about as bad as his rotten stink. Sorry, I went full Cleo there. Sorry about that.
Oh no, it's happening!
It's too addictive.
It's the character singularity. That
Everybody's gonna be cowboys by the end.
Either that or aristocratic gentlemen.
I do believe that life on the proverbial rounds would suit me rather well. And they go, yeah.
As Dr. Zafrey approaches what does look, in fact, quite a lot like some sort of star-faring vessel, there's a motion in the swamp ahead of him.
Oh, goddamn.
Oh, Cleo, I believe he's
No.
calling you, Ursine.
Oh, what are you getting into, Dr. Z?
Bit of movement in the old swamp here. Need you here right fast.
All right,
that
all right,
enemy of the
all right. Cleo's kind of getting over there.
And Dr. Z, without any sort of sensory feeling, can't quite tell if something just brushed against the side of his mechanical leg.
Oh my god. You didn't.
Ew, no!
You didn't just do that. Something just touched my leg.
Well, it's impossible for you to tell.
Oh my god, that's so good. What a nod to.
Are you gonna do like a little baby scream? Cause something just touched
I'll put
you
the
and
Wilhelm scream in.
But Dr. Z, I mean, he's not going to really care about some sort of underwater thing touching his vessel that he travels in, is he?
No.
that's real close to
Yeah,
him
he's
though.
not even going to be grossed out by slimy things under the water because he is one.
No, but it's gonna be a little bit concerned for his
Yeah,
life.
Yeah.
I'm not
But
worried.
what if it knocks his fishball over?
I'm inside a fishbowl. I'm fine.
It's pretty strong.
Not if you get spilled out.
Pretty strong.
I've got a lot of energy shields that have to get through all of those
You
first.
don't have a lot of energy shield. It all got fucking stabbed by Herodotus.
I thought I bought some. I think I got 3, right?
Yeah, I fucked them up, boy.
Oh, so you've got a an
fucked them up
energy
right
shield which you
good.
can recharge at a short rest, and
Yeah, I've got some.
and a projector unit affixed to it that allows you to project it onto other people. But
yeah, I got
Wait,
shields.
did you spend up your energy shields fighting Herodotus, you stupid?
Cleo,
Who's
did you
stupid now?
step into a fucking deep old hole? You idiot.
At least I didn't friendly fire myself to death.
Well, yeah, you friendly fired yourself to death, you idiot.
All right, that's fair,
Herodotus
that's fair.
has managed to go mostly.
It's not even friendly fire, it's gravity, and gravity is not your friend.
Herodotus at least is unscathed.
That is something I have been learning as a big thing. Now that I'm a big girl.
Indeed, good sir. If it's one thing that we in the nobility have learned over the years, it's to let the lower classes take the brunt of the first charge. Yes, it goes back to the plebeians, don't you know?
Herodotus is the tankiest character as well. He's got both armor and shields, and is utterly unscathed. But anyway, Dr. Z can now see that the water is churning, and something most certainly did touch his mechanical leg.
I'll start stepping backwards.
You good doctor, did your water just break? You see, he is a fish. He would be laying eggs.
And as Dr.
I'm
Z,
not sure that everything is as it seems.
as Dr. Z backs up, something suddenly shoots out of the water, but a good few meters away, and it's a what appears to be some sort of just tube, like a slithery blue, rather slimy organic tube pops up, and at the end of it, there's almost like a gramophone kind of mouth type thing that flares out.
Ugh.
And it has several sort of fine whiskery antennae on it, and it seems to be sniffing about in the air towards Dr. Z.
Does it seem like it just don't care?
What?
Sniffing about in the air?
Slithering around in the air like it just...
Oh,
like it just
okay.
don't care.
I missed that one.
classic
Damn, that's a good
disco song. And then
And era defining.
all of a sudden it shrieks as the sort of organic tube thing opens wide, and inside hundreds upon hundreds of little needle-like teeth all flick out.
What?
Oh,
No.
And
I lean back. I start running back.
green water splashes everywhere as more of these tendrils pop out and pulled up by an array of these tendrils. There seem to be dozens of them. They're firing out of the water, and something big is dragging itself out.
Can I quickly cast my shields onto the other two? Can I quickly cast 2 shields?
Herodotus immediately starts laughing.
Ha! Look at that! The good doctors at a family reunion.
So the way your shield works is as a personal shield upon you, but then you can, like, at will and quickly and reflexively project it outwards to someone nearby.
Oh, okay. Well, then for now, I'll keep it on me then.
Yeah, you can actually do that, like, as long as you've still got energy left. So at the moment you're all on 3 energy because you haven't been caught surprised. So you can
Okay, no, I'll keep it on. I'll keep it on me.
yeah, it's you can, as long as you save energy, you can actually do it during any turn. You can whoop your shield over. But the hulking form
You can just whip it
raising
out.
itself out as water is dripping off it and splashing everywhere, and there's just a brown ball that's sort of squirming. It looks like sort of just like a tangle of worms or rat's tails or something.
No.
And it has one big eye in the middle that's staring at you unblinkingly. The eye is huge. It's it's half a meter across as it's pulled up on dozens of these tendrils. And as Dr. Zafrey starts to run away, one of the tendrils lashes out at him, attempting to capture him and grab him.
Oh no, that's not good.
It lashes out at him, and he will be caught unless he makes a dexterity save or something else. Like if he has to make some sort of effort to avoid it.
Can I telepathically tell it to let go?
You certainly can.
Okay, I'm gonna use my telepathy to tell it to.
Let go.
Oh fuck! I rolled a natural 1.
Oh God.
Oh no!
Nah.
All right.
That's 2 natural 1s this game. God damn.
You accidentally tell it never let go.
No, that's not. It's,
Hold me.
What if that makes it feel good?
Well, here's what happens. Dr. Zafrey projects out with his mind quickly and harshly. He's a naturally telepathic little jellyfish. So obviously his first line of defense
Jammy little
is
bastard.
to do things like this, especially against an organic, a lesser organic being like this that is going to have presumably quite weak psionic defenses. He reaches out quickly, asking for it not to attack, or demanding even. But something goes wrong. He doesn't do it with the finesse that he ought to, and the thing is enraged. It lets out a horrible screeching, monstrous bellow as all its limbs begin to thrash wildly, each one ending with one of these flaring things, each flaring open and wide, and all those needle-like teeth all flicking out as they all screech, and the one reaching towards them curves around his robotic body and hoists him up into the air.
I look at Cleo and Herodotus and say,
Well, any help would be useful. I don't plan on hanging about for too long.
And I think we can end it there.
"Oh
The height
my
of drama.
Oh my god!
Nice. Cool and
Wow.
nice.
We recorded our first episode.
That
Yep.
was absolutely batshit. And we haven't even done much of anything yet.
I loved it.
Well-
Oh man, it was great. I'm
Is
so
that
glad
gonna
we.
become a running theme that the Ursine is like gravity challenge?
I mean,
It might be now.
Yeah.
Maybe she's.
Maybe it's not the gravity challenge that's the problem. Maybe it's just that she's dumb as
I kind of imagine that's like,
Yeah,
that usually works out for her. Like she's often like jumping out of spaceships, but she doesn't normally fall quite as far as that. So she normally just sort of like lands.
Or maybe it worked for me
okay.
when I was a human.
It was also because like she's super strong. She's
Oh,
super strong,
right.
but she's also super clumsy.
You were expecting to do like a superhero landing?
Yeah, maybe. I kind of imagined that when I was not a bear, I was better at most things. And now I'm like a human that's trying to figure out how to be in a bear body, and it's a real big mess.
All right, that's good. That's good storytelling.
So
like
there
it.
is going to be a lot of jerry-rigged weaponry because my fat bear hands can't do the stuff I used to do. But the brain is still there that remembers how to like build bombs and use all these weapons. But the bear body is like kind of a problem.
Yeah,
So
that's gonna be good.
I do enjoy it.
there's definitely going to be like weird moments where the bear body gets used in a very human way to deflect damage.
But not very humane.
Yeah. Yep.
That's gonna be great.
But we're still alive. We're all still here. So
Well, more or less.
for now, that might change in the next episode.
Start the second episode with us rolling initiative into this fight.
Yay! Gonna be great.
I liked it.
It's gonna be good.
So yeah, like
Can't believe I
Cleo's
almost
on
died.
5 health. Dr. Zafrey's shield can sustain 1 hit. He's used up 2 medipacks already. And you're in a fight.
Awesome.
Sounds like Backwater Bastards.
Yep.
So I seem to remember we talked about it last time, but I can't remember quite how we ended up with it. I wanted like a portable machine gun turret sort of thing
That's the point. Do we want to
set up.
do you want to reimagine the
Like-
rifle as being that's what it was, wasn't that?
Maybe the rifle. Yeah, maybe we could have that as a deployable. Where like I set it down, I put down
Yeah.
down the
I'm gonna
bipod,
rename
and
it.
I get like the heavy caliber on
So
it.
rather than hunting rifle, what are we going to call
Ooh.
that? Like a
Anti-material rifle.
well, I think like it's an anti-material
Ooh, that's
like
cool.
gun though, isn't it? 'Cause you got to call it a gun because you set it up like a gunner.
Yeah. I'll call it light field gun.
Light field gun. Sounds good.
Yes.
That
In a
too.
court of law.
Thank you, bastards, for listening to our first adventure into space with the Backwater
yeah.
Bastards in space orbital refuge. And if you have enjoyed this show, please head on over to iTunes or whatever you're listening on. Rate and review us so that we can climb the charts and get further and deeper into space than we have ever dreamed or near gone.
Yeah.
Ask not what your people can do, what your country can do for you.
The higher.
What you can do for your
Ask if you
podcast.
can get extra ketchup. What?
And on top of that, if you have any spare credits lying about, those lazy credits that at the end of the month are just sitting there doing nothing with themselves, collecting dust in the corner.
unused.
Well, you can give them to us by heading over to our Patreon, which is in the show notes and also on our website, backwaterbastards.com. We'll put them towards great use, like audio equipment, artworks,
And goodies.
and goodies. Yes.
Goodies, yeah.
We like our goodies.
Audio equipment, fan art, posters, pins, and things that go bump in the
Poopies.
night. Our ultimate dream of one day being on the same landmass at the same time, and maybe someday greater dreams still
Yes.
in the making.
Like our very own toilet.
Oh.
Yep, that's exactly that.
You hear that?
That's why
reference?
we here.
But if you have no
That's what
credits and
people-
you'd just like to help us grow the show, then please share us with a friend. Copy and paste this episode and send it to your friends and say, hey, I think you'll like this. It's a sci-fi adventure with some idiots who don't really care too much for each other, but also are trying to do a story together and it's not really working out quite well.
Yeah, because the bears keep jumping into the freaking holes, and that's going to make a lot of sense to them. And
And the nobleman's too
Listen.
noble for his own good and doesn't like anyone else. And the fishbowl, well, is the fishbowl.
No, sir. There's no such thing as too much nobility, sir. No, sir.
We are what keeps society civilized, don't you know?
Yes. And that's the
Blast
show,
be to
everyone.
all the heathens.
So until the next time, we'll see you next week, bastards. Until then, bugger off.
Sayonara.
Stay spacey.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
Tune in next time for another edge of your seat adventure in space with the Backwater Bastards.
If you enjoy listening, but also have eyes, check out our Instagram, where we post drawings, illustrations, character art from our adventures. Backwater_bastards. Check out our Instagram on Instagram.